Okay, in this video we're going to cover section 6.3, which is the law of cosine. We use the law of cosine when we have a side angle side or given three sides that are known. Okay, here are a law of cosine formulas and the alternative formulas. If you notice on your reference sheet, I only give you one form of each. Number one, we'll solve the triangle, right? We're going to solve for the triangle, round to one decimal place as necessary. First thing we're going to be doing is solving for A. We'll be using the law of cosine because we're given the B, we're given C, and we're given A. So we're going to be using this formula. I'll do A squared is equal to B squared, which is 19 squared, plus 22 squared, minus 2 times 19 times 22 times cosine of A being the 38 degrees. Okay. Use the calculator. Make sure you're on degree mode. Okay. So 19 squared plus 22 squared minus 2 times 19 times 22 times cosine of 38. Okay. When I press enter, I get this answer, but remember that's A squared. So I'm going to go ahead and put that here. A squared is equal to 186.22301. I'm going to take the square root, so second square root, and then second answer, and then I will get that A is approximately 13.6. Now that I have a complete ratio, I'm going to go ahead and start with that one. I'm going to use sine of 38 degrees over the little a, which is 13.6, okay, is equal to sine of b over the 19. One of the things that I would do in this case is if I'm going to store this answer, I would go ahead and mark it. Storing it, I'm going to go ahead and do store, and then I'm going to store it to my A. Okay? This will help because you don't have to worry about the rounding. Now I can use bat and ball. If this is what I'm looking for, I would multiply these two together. I'm going to do here. Sine of B is equal to 19 sine of 38 degrees divided by 13.6, or in other words, our A, whatever we had stored in here. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to do 19 sine 38 divided by, recall, second, store, and then I'm going to push my A value. This is my answer. Okay, and then I'm going to remove the sign, take it over to the other side, so I'm going to get B is going to be equal to the inverse sine of the ratio that I just got. Okay, I'm going to do that in the calculator. Second sine, second answer, and then I get B is approximately 59 degrees. Okay. Last thing I'm going to do is, now that I have the two angles, I can find the last angle. C would equal 180 degrees minus angle A, which we had as 38 degrees, minus angle B, which is 59 degrees. Okay. When I do this, I find angle C to be approximately 83 degrees. Now let's go ahead and solve a triangle where we're given three sides. We need to use the alternative form of law of cosine to find the largest angle. This is going to be the most important thing. Okay? The largest angle is going to be the angle opposite to the longest side. This has to go first. Then we'll find the remaining two angles using the law of sine or cosine. I always recommend using the law of sine. Okay? Then we'll find the third angle. All right? Let's go ahead and solve for this one. So as you can see here, C is going to be the longest side because we're given all three side lengths. So we're going to find angle C first. Okay. Cosine C is equal to A, which is 10 squared, plus B, which is 8.7 squared, minus C, which is 12.3 squared, all divided by 2 times 10 times 8.7. Okay, use the formula. I'm going to go ahead and plug this into the calculator, and then remember we need to take the cosine to the other side. So C would be the inverse cosine of this ratio. Let's go ahead and get that. Okay. Careful when you're doing this in the calculator. You want to make sure that your entire numerator is in parentheses. So 10 squared plus 8.7 squared minus 12.3 squared, all divided by 2 times 10 times 8.7. Notice that when I did the multiplications in the denominator, I kept it all in one parentheses as well. There's my ratio. I'm going to go ahead and write an approximation here. Okay, and then now I'm going to do the inverse cosine of that ratio. So second cosine, second answer. Okay, and there I get my C. So C will be approximately 81.9 degrees. Okay. Step 2 says to find angle A or B using the law of sine or cosine. I actually prefer to use the law of sine. So I'm going to do sine of 81.9 degrees over little c, which is your 12.3, is equal to sine of A over 10. Okay. Use the bat and ball. Here it's going to be sine of A is equal to 10 sine 81.9 over 12.3. Okay. Remember, you have to take the sine over to the other side, so you'll have A is equal to inverse sine of this ratio. Let's plug this into the calculator. 10 sine 81.9 divided by 12.3. Okay, there's my ratio. Okay, and then second sine, second answer, and I'm going to get A is approximately 53.6 degrees. Once you have that, we can find the last angle, and in this case it'll be angle B is equal to 180 degrees minus angle C minus angle A. Okay, so now B should be approximately 44.5 degrees. Just use your calculator for that one. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and do number 3. It says the distance between Miami, Florida, and New York is 1093 miles. The distance from New York to Nashville is going to be 759 miles. And the distance from Nashville to Miami is going to be 816 miles. What is the measurement of each angle between the towns? Round to one decimal place. Okay, so let's go ahead and label this. I'm going to label this A, B, and C. So here we need to solve for angle A first because it's opposite of the longest side. So let's start with that one. Okay, cosine of A is going to equal to B squared, which is 816 squared, plus C squared, 759 squared, minus A squared, which is 1093 squared. All of that divided by 2 times 816 times 759. Okay. Remember, take the cosine over to the other side. So I'm going to do A is equal to the inverse cosine of all of this ratio. Let's plug that in. Okay, I plugged it into the calculator and I get a ratio of 0.038. Okay, now I'm going to do the inverse cosine. So second cosine, second answer, and I'm going to get an angle of 87.8 degrees. Okay. Now that we have angle 1, let's go ahead and use the law of sine to figure out angle B or angle C. So here I'm going to say sine of 87.8 degrees over 1093 is equal to sine of C divided by 759. Okay. Bat and ball, I'm going to use sine of C is equal to 759 sine of 87.8 degrees, all divided by 1093. Okay, so C is going to equal to the inverse sine of this ratio. Let's plug that in. Okay, 759 sine of 87.8 divided by 1093. Okay, I'm going to get a ratio of 0.6939. And now I'm going to go ahead and take the inverse of that ratio. So second sine, second answer, and I get C is equal to 43.9 degrees. Okay. Now it's easy to go ahead and find angle B. Angle B would be 180 degrees minus 87.8 minus the 43.9. Let's plug that into the calculator. 180 minus 87.8 minus the 43.9. Now I get angle B to be 48.3 degrees. Okay, that concludes this section. Let me know if you have any questions.